We start with your electric bill. Chances are you get your electricity from APS. The company is in the midst of what's called a rate case. The 5-member Arizona Corporation Commission is deciding how much money APS can earn from customers. So far, the news is not so good for APS, pretty good for customers, but that is not the end of the story. Joining us is Ryan Randazzo of the Arizona Republic. He's covered this process for years and is very good at breaking it down. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the larger context for the Corporation Commission vote last week. You reported that APS's history is coming back to haunt the company. What is that history?
Well, how much time have you got? This is an electric company that, unlike many across the country, has chosen to participate in elections. It provided money to dark money groups that worked for its preferred candidates who would then get into office and set rates for the company. That all came to light. It's a company that raised rates in 2017 and made them so confusing that its own employees can't explain the rate oftentimes to customers who call up and ask about their bill. And all of this has been well documented. And at the same time, while the company is having this behavior that is beyond questionable, it's been extremely profitable. So you have a company that's making tons of money, $500 million a year in profit, and not treating its customers very well. And the people who regulate utilities in Arizona seem to be fed up with it.
So how unusual was it for the Corporation Commission to lower APS's potential profits?
Extremely unusual. They've probably got some of the worst treatment from regulators in the country. And that's what Wall Street analysts are saying today, that there's probably a small utility somewhere in the country that has faced this kind of harsh criticism, but not one, an investment grade publicly traded company like Pinnacle West. I mean, it is highly unusual to have 4 of the commissioners vote to not just cut its profitability, but really slash it down to 8.7%. I have seen in the past where you have 1 or 2 commissioners say, no, I'm fed up, I'm sick of this company, we need to punish them. But the majority, the commission is a numbers game. There's 5 commissioners. You need 3 votes to do anything. And APS almost always has the majority, 3 or 4 commissioners approve what it wants. And that's just not happening now. The vote was 4-1 with commissioners in agreement, bipartisan, to slash its profitability.
And as you indicated, APS is part of a publicly traded company called Pinnacle West. The stock market didn't take this news very well.
No, they're getting killed. They've lost like $10 in stock value since this vote on last week. And the analyst reports are just starting to come out as the experts who watch the financial markets are trying to digest what actually happened here. But it's going to continue to probably hurt that stock. I saw one analyst report that this was a person who was advising people to buy the stock at a price of $97, and he has moved his price target to 68. So this analyst is basically saying this company was worth a lot of money before, and it's not anymore. And there's probably a better place to invest your money as an investor. So that's pretty harsh for those company executives to have to take.
I mean, just for perspective, $66 a share, which I think is where it's trading at recently, isn't that bad. Nobody's going to hold, garage sales for APS right now. The vote wasn't the last one on APS's rates. We've seen this happen before. What is the company doing behind the scenes right now to change the Corporation Commission's mind?
Well, you can bet there's a high pressure campaign for APS executives to try and convince 2 of the commissioners to reverse this vote. Fortunately for APS, this wasn't the final vote. Their rate case is so exhaustive and so big that the commissioners, even after 3 days, didn't get through it. So they still need to take a final vote on this. That's expected at the end of the month. And you can just bet that the APS execs are going to do everything they can to try and convince them to not make that final vote or to make some changes. There was one commissioner who did not vote along with the majority. She could put forth an amendment that reverses this or tries to seek some middle ground, but from what I heard, I just don't think that those other commissioners are interested in listening. I mean, they are very fed up with this company, and they wanted to take bold action despite threats from the company that this would cripple their finances, and they did it anyways.
And APS, as we've seen in the past, will point out this does hurt many Arizona shareholders. The stock has a large number of them here in Arizona. So how much time does APS have? When is the final vote?
Probably October 27th is when we'll see that. So they've got a couple of weeks, and they've already started. They've already started filing letters into the Corporation Commission showing how bad this is for the company. They're using all the buzzwords. The analysts are saying APS won't be able to fund green infrastructure anymore. So we won't have as much solar and batteries if the company doesn't perform well financially. So that started immediately after the vote, and I expect that to ramp up pretty heavily. APS trying to get its allies to pressure the regulators to not treat it this way.
And that company is a powerful company on its own and has a lot of powerful friends. Ryan Randazzo, again, thanks so much for breaking it down.